Middle-length Discourses number 7. The simile of the impure and pure cloth. Thus, I have heard. At one time the Buddha was staying near Savatthi in Jeta's grove, Anathapinḍika's monastery. There, the Buddha addressed the mendicants, "Mendicants." "Venerable Sir," they replied. The Buddha said this: "Suppose, mendicants, there was a cloth that was dirty and soiled. No matter what dye the dyer applied, whether blue or yellow or red or magenta, it would look poorly dyed and impure in color. Why is that? Because of the impurity of the cloth. In the same way, when the mind is corrupt, a bad destiny, animal, ghost, and hell realms, is to be expected. Suppose there was a cloth that was pure and clean. No matter what dye the dyer applied, whether blue or yellow or red or magenta, it would look well dyed and pure in color. Why is that? Because of the purity of the cloth. In the same way, when the mind isn't corrupt, a good destiny, human and heaven realms, is to be expected. And what are the corruptions of the mind? Covetousness and immoral greed, ill will, anger, hostility, disdain, contempt, jealousy, stinginess, deceit, deviousness, wrongheadedness, aggression, conceit, arrogance, snobbery, and negligence are corruptions of the mind. A mendicant, who understands that covetousness and immoral greed are corruptions of the mind, gives the corruption up. A mendicant who understands that ill will. A mendicant who understands that anger. A mendicant who understands that hostility. A mendicant who understands that disdain. A mendicant who understands that contempt. A mendicant who understands that jealousy. A mendicant who understands that stinginess. A mendicant who understands that deceit. A mendicant who understands that deviousness. A mendicant who understands that wrongheadedness. A mendicant who understands that aggression. A mendicant who understands that conceit. A mendicant who understands that arrogance. A mendicant who understands that snobbery. A mendicant, who understands that negligence is a corruption of the mind, gives the corruption up. When they have understood these corruptions of the mind for what they are, and have given them up, they have unshakable confidence in the Buddha. That blessed one is perfected, a fully awakened Buddha, accomplished in conducts and knowledge, holy, knower of the worlds, supreme personality guide for those who wish to train, teacher of gods and humans, awakened, blessed. They have unshakable confidence in the Buddha as a teacher because they have followed his path and realized the results that he speaks of. They have unshakable confidence in the Dhamma, the teaching. The teaching of Buddha is clearly explained and concise, can be seen in the present life, from your senses, independent of time, inviting to come and inspect, introspection, lead to within, so that wise people can know it for themselves from practicing it. They have unshakable confidence in the Sangha, the community of Buddha's disciples. The community of the Buddha's disciples is practicing well in the Noble Eightfold Path, practicing honestly, practicing step by step, and practicing in their daily life. It consists of the 4 pairs, the 8 individuals. This is the community of the Buddha's disciples that is worthy of offerings dedicated to the gods, worthy of hospitality, worthy of a religious donation, worthy of greeting with joined palms, and is the supreme field of merit for the world. When a mendicant has discarded, eliminated, released, given up, and relinquished to this extent, thinking, I have unshakable confidence in the Buddha, the Dhamma, the teaching, the Sangha, community of Buddha's disciples, they find inspiration in the meaning and the teaching, and find joy connected with the teaching. Thinking, I have discarded, eliminated, released, given up, and relinquished to this extent, they find inspiration in the meaning and the teaching, and find joy connected with the teaching. When they're joyful, rapture springs up. When the mind is full of rapture, the body becomes tranquil. When the body is tranquil, they feel bliss. And when they're blissful, the mind reaches the samadhi. When a mendicant of such ethics, such characters, and such wisdom eats boiled fine rice with the dark grains picked out and served with many soups and sauces, that is no obstacle for them. Compare with cloth that is dirty and soiled, it can be made pure and clean by pure water. Or unrefined gold, which can be made pure and bright by a forge. In the same way, when a mendicant of such ethics, such characters, and such wisdom eats boiled fine rice with the dark grains picked out and served with many soups and sauces, that is no obstacle for them. They live in life spreading a mind full of friendliness to one direction, and to the second, and to the third, and to the fourth. In the same way above, below, across, everywhere, all around, they spread a mind full of friendliness to the whole world, abundant, expansive, limitless, free of enmity and ill will. They live in life spreading a mind full of compassion to one direction, and to the second, and to the third, and to the fourth. In the same way above, below, across, everywhere, all around, they spread a mind full of compassion to the whole world, abundant, expansive, limitless, free of enmity and ill will. They live in life spreading a mind full of rejoicing to one direction, and to the second, and to the third, and to the fourth. In the same way above, below, across, everywhere, all around, they spread a mind full of rejoicing to the whole world, abundant, expansive, limitless, free of enmity and ill will. They live in life spreading a heart full of equanimity to one direction, and to the second, and to the third, and to the fourth. In the same way above, below, across, everywhere, all around, they spread a mind full of equanimity to the whole world, abundant, expansive, limitless, free of enmity and ill will. They understand, there is this, there is what is worse than this, there is what is better than this, and there is an escape beyond the scope of perception. Knowing and seeing like this, their mind is freed from the defilements of sensual pleasure, desire of existence, and ignorance. When they're freed, they know they're freed. They understand, birth has ended, the spiritual journey has been completed, what had to be done has been done, there is no return to any state of existence. This is called a mendicant who is bathed with the inner bathing. Now at that time the Brahmin named Swandarika Bharadwaja was sitting not far from the Buddha. He said to the Buddha, "But does Master Gautama go to the Upekkha river to bathe?" "Brahmin, why go to the Upekkha river? What can the Upekkha river do?" Many people believe that the Upekkha river leads to a heavenly world and bestows merit. And many people wash off their bad deeds in the Upekkha river. Then the Buddha addressed Swandarika Bharadwaja in verse. The Upekkha river and the Adhikaka river. Adgaya river and the Swandarika river too. Sarasvati river and Payaga river. And the Bahumati river. A fool can constantly plunge into them. But it won't purify their dark actions. What can the Swandarika river do? What the Payaga river or the Upekkha river do? They can't cleanse a cruel and criminal person from their bad actions. For the pure in mind, it's always the Sabbath time. For the pure in mind and clean of action, their vows will always be fulfilled. It's here alone that you should bathe, Brahmin, making yourself a sanctuary for all creatures. And if you speak no lies, nor harm any living creature, nor steal anything not given, and you're faithful and not stingy, what's the point of going to Gaya River? For any water well may be your Gaya River, to clean your bad actions. When he had spoken, the Brahmin Swandarika Bharadwaja said to the Buddha, "Excellent, Master Gautama. Excellent." As if he were righting the overturned, or revealing the hidden, or pointing out the path to the lost, or lighting a lamp in the dark so people with clear eyes can see what's there, Master Gautama has made the teaching clear in many ways. I go for refuge to Master Gautama, to the Dhamma, the teaching, and to the Mendicant Sangha. May I receive the going forth, the ordination in the ascetic Gautama's presence? And the Brahmin Swandarika Bharadwaja received the going forth, the ordination in the Buddha's presence. Not long after his ordination, Venerable Bharadwaja, living alone, withdrawn, diligent, keen, and resolute, soon realized the supreme end of the spiritual path in this very life. He lived having achieved with his own insight the goal for which gentlemen rightly go forth from the lay life to homelessness. He understood, birth has ended, the spiritual journey has been completed, What had to be done has been done, there is no return to any state of existence. And Venerable Bharadvaja became one of the arahant, the perfected one.